It was 3 a.m., you know, the time when all great life decisions are made. I was lying in bed, my partner was asleep next to me, and I Googled, how do you know if you should leave your boyfriend? And in that moment, it hit me. I trusted an algorithm more than I trusted myself. And on reflection, I realized I'd never made a big decision alone. I'd polled my girlfriends, consulted the group chat, called my mum, even read horoscopes. Sound familiar? I know I'm not alone. The research shows that as women, we're more likely to ask for advice before acting, we're more prone to decision regret than men, and we're more likely to second guess ourselves. Why? Because we've been conditioned not to trust ourselves. I mean, let's look at it. Eve wanted an apple. Boom, eternal damnation. Me? I speak up in a meeting and I'm bossy. What was that? You'd like to set a boundary? Yeah, she's being difficult, guys. Front row, difficult. I mean, is it any wonder that we're all wide-eyed at 3 a.m. asking Google what to do? But today, I'm going to share with you the science behind why, as a woman, you should always trust your instincts. You'll learn how you've had the answers all along, emotionally and biologically, for those big decisions in life, but also for those big hormonal shifts. Today, you'll learn to come home, to trust yourself again, to trust your gut. And as I take you on this journey, I want you to think about a decision that you've been sitting on, maybe weighing up or putting off altogether. Keep it at the front of your mind as I share with you the science behind your gut instinct. So you've got your brain and it's your body's CEO. You know, it's calling all the shots. But your brain started out wired for one core question. Am I safe or unsafe? It's built for survival. And what is safe to your brain is what it knows. That's why we stay in jobs that drain us, relationships that hurt us, and roles that shrink us. Because change, any kind of change, even positive change, can feel like danger for our brain. So it doesn't want us to make that choice. But your gut, your second brain, is different. It doesn't just react. It senses. Have you ever had that deep feeling of knowing, but you kind of can't explain why it is that you need to do what you need to do? Or butterflies in your stomach before a big decision? Even that tightness in your tummy when something doesn't feel quite right, it feels a bit off. Well, that's your gut instinct. And the latest research in microbiology shows this isn't some elusive, mystical thing. It's actually measurable. We now know that the microbes living in your gut are constantly talking with your brain. We call it your gut-brain connection. And these microbes produce chemicals that can influence how you think, process information, and make decisions. So anytime you've said phrases like, I've just got this gut feeling, that is quite literally your microbes whispering to you saying, this matters. But here's the problem. As women, we don't listen to them. Even when our body speaks to us clearly, powerfully, we ignore it. The medical literature shows that as women, we're less likely to trust our own bodies, to believe that what we feel is real, so much so that we're even less likely to believe our own pain. And I'm not surprised we don't trust our bodies as women. I mean, how often do we feel like they quite literally hate us? You know, it starts with painful periods, then maybe unreliable fertility, and then we're just staring into the barrel of the abyss when it comes to menopause. And when it comes to the solutions, the medical narrative has long focused on external hormone therapies. First with the pill in our teens, and then later in life, HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Now, these therapies absolutely have their place and benefits. I am not anti-hormone therapy. I am not anti-medicine. But these treatments condition us to rely on external fixes, to go outside of ourselves again for the solutions and the answers. But the latest research in microbiology shows that alongside these treatments, we could work with our own biology and tap back into ourselves. Because trusting your gut has a whole other meaning for a woman, and let me explain why. Inside your gut is a hormonal powerhouse called the estrobolome, a collection of microbial genes that help regulate your estrogen levels. They do this by producing an enzyme which turns inactive estrogen into active estrogen again. And this then allows that active estrogen to go back into the body, to be reabsorbed and have its effects once more. Let me tell you why this is so amazing. Because estrogen, your female sex hormone, is often misunderstood. People think estrogen's just merely involved in our fertility and our periods. Oh, but she is so much more than that. I like to call estrogen the Beyoncé of the body because she gives the glow to your skin, the rhythm to your mood, the strength to your bones, and the power to your heart. Essentially, when estrogen starts peaking in our cycle, it feels like our life is too. And when estrogen has done, performing a headline act, lighting up every cell in your body from your brain to your bones, she's supposed to leave the stage. So estrogen travels through your liver, gets deactivated, and heads to your gut, ready to leave the body. But your gut has its own backstage crew, your estrobolome. This incredible microbial control center produces an enzyme which reactivates estrogen, allowing her to go back into the body, essentially for an encore. It's like these microbes hand estrogen the mic and go on, girl, give us one more song. And so if we can keep this cycle going, keep these microbes working for us and impacting our estrogen levels naturally, we ourselves could have the power within us to impact so much of our health. And where the research looks really promising is in how we transition through menopause, because this is when our estrogen levels take a sharp decline. And emerging studies are showing and suggesting that if we target the estrobolome, keep a thriving female gut microbiome, we can help regulate our own body's natural hormone levels through things like dietary interventions. And this then offers us a more empowered, embodied way for us women to move through life. When I first came across the estrobolome, I had one question. Why is no one talking about this? We have this incredible inbuilt machinery inside of us, yet hardly anyone knows it exists. Well, the reason no one's talking about it is because of the huge gap in research when it comes to women's health. So whilst, yes, we know that the scientifically proven estrobolome concept is there, but we still need more robust studies to determine how we can now utilize this in clinical practice. But the studies we do have are really promising. And here's what they show us. The very same habits that keep your estrobolome and your female gut microbiome thriving and working for you are the exact same habits that support your gut-brain connection. So it's a double win. What nourishes your female biology also empowers your mind, your decision-making. So what are those habits? Well, there's 4 of them, and I like to call it having a strong back 4. It's your defense. First up, diet. A whole food, balanced diet, one that really prioritizes plants and high fiber foods. Think whole grains, colorful fruits and veggies, nuts, seeds, legumes. These feed your gut microbes and help them flourish. Next, exercise. So important, but don't get bogged down with the specifics. Just move your body in a way that feels good for you. It all counts when it comes to your gut microbiome. And then sleep. It's underrated. But when your sleep becomes disrupted, it throws off the balance of bacteria in your gut. So sometimes it's less about perfecting your morning routine and more about focusing on getting a few extra winks. And finally, stress management. Probably the one we all need to focus on the most. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, your main stress hormone. And this alters the delicate balance of bacteria in your gut. It tips the scales towards more bad bacteria rather than the good. Cortisol will also directly impact your hormone levels and your brain chemistry. So we need to get a handle on it. Things like yoga, breath work, meditation, but also time in nature, time with the people that you love, whatever works for you to help lower your stress levels. And that's it. Your strong back 4 for supporting your gut brain and your gut hormone connection. Now, whilst these habits sound simple, that doesn't mean they're easy. And here's the thing. Listening to your gut often asks something difficult of you. Building these habits takes real work. It means getting out of your own way and showing up for yourself again and again. But it is the ultimate self-care, because laying these foundations down now might make the road ahead, those big hormonal transitions, that little bit smoother. And at the same time, trusting your gut when you're facing a big decision can feel really scary. It might mean having a hard conversation, setting a boundary, or maybe walking away from something that no longer feels right. And that's never easy. But these are the moments that matter most, because doing the hard thing now might make everything that follows, from your hormones to your happiness, that little bit easier. And this is where I'm going to remind you, that decision I asked you to think about, you already know the best choice for you. Deep down, you know it. You see, the problem isn't knowing what to do. It's finding the courage to make yourself do it. But with everything that I've shared with you today, how you now know that you can quite literally trust your gut, especially as a woman, to help guide you through these big transitions in life. Well, what if you also trusted yourself enough to be able to handle the fallout of any decision you made? Because there is no wrong decision when you know you can handle whatever comes your way. Just remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about direction. Which reminds me, yeah, he's now my ex. And no, I don't Google my life decisions anymore. Trust your gut. She knows. You know. Ah, that was so much fun.